A while ago, I made these mini photo zines and I absolutely loved doing it because it's just so great to see your work in print instead of only on your computer. So I decided that I want to do more with my photos and more with print, and that is why today I'm taking it a step further and I'm going to make ring-bound photo zines. The idea is pretty simple: a collection of photos, paper and text, and you bind them together with the ring so you can flip through them. I will be doing everything myself, from collecting the photos to making the design, printing, getting all the materials, and also bringing the whole thing together. It's my first time doing this, so let's get started and let's see. But before I could even start to work on the ring-bounded zine, I had to think about what I wanted it to be about. It could be about a certain color, a photography style, or a city. And there were just so many ideas, but I decided to make one about my recent trip about New York City because I took a lot of photos and I would love to see them in my hands. I started with going through all my photos and making a rough selection. Street photography, buildings, little details, basically all those moments that together reminded me of being in New York. But I didn't want this to just become a stack of my favorite New York photos. I wanted it to feel a little bit more like a physical memory of the trip. And that is when I started thinking, well, why does every page even have to be a photograph? I could add some stickers, make a design for a page, and for example add some text. Then there was the actual format and size of the page and the photo book. To get a better idea of what I wanted it to look like, I also went through some magazines and books I had at home for inspiration. I started looking at the different layouts, typography, and little design details that I could maybe incorporate into my own book. And to be honest, at some point I just got a little bit overwhelmed because I just had so many creative ideas. I wanted to use different sizes of paper, different color paper, design all the text and maybe all the pages, put some other tiny collectibles in there. So yeah, my head was basically exploding, but that is why I also decided to, for this first one, just to keep it as simple as possible and to just start. To make it easier, I grabbed a piece of paper and roughly sketched out some of my ideas, just to get them out of my head and have an overview of what the book could look like. It definitely didn't need to be the final layout. I could always fine-tune things later, but I think that it actually made the whole project feel a little bit more manageable for me. So the things that I definitely wanted to try was different size of pages, text and photos combined, and different colored and different types of paper. So with this master plan ready, it was time to start designing the actual pages. For now, I did it in Canva to show you how you can easily do it, but of course you can also do it in Adobe or any other program. So I started with the front cover. I knew I wanted the cover to be quite simple but still an eye-catcher. So I started experimenting with a text, a really bright color, and putting a photo over it. Then I also added a few more design pages and also the final page of the photo book and some playful pages in between. Of course, you don't have to do all these designs. It's also fine to just print the photos and make a ring-bounded photo book of it, but I really like to play around with design, and also I wanted to show you what could be possible. With the design finished, it was time to turn everything into something physical. So I went to my local craft store to pick everything up, but also just to browse around a little and get some more inspiration. Luckily, you don't need much for this project. The main thing I needed were the binder rings, something to punch the holes, and some paper, including a few colored sheets and some different types of paper. After I got all my materials, of course, I needed to print my photos. And then I finally got to see all the designs off my screen and off my camera and in my hands. It looked a little chaotic spread out across the table, but in a good way. Now I just had to somehow turn this pile of paper into an actual book. Before we start putting the little zine together, I just quickly wanted to thank you for being here and for watching this video. I've been putting a lot of effort into my YouTube channel and I've also been trying to grow. So if you'd like this video or my other videos and if you learned anything, I would really appreciate it if you could subscribe to my channel, leave a comment and like this video. It really motivates me and helps me to keep going on this channel and to keep helping people to get creative. And now that I had printed everything and collected everything, it was finally time to turn it into a real zine. And these are all the papers and materials that I used to create the photo book. As a first step, I had to cut all the papers onto the right size. For the zine, I decided to go for an A6 size because I really like that it's a bit smaller and just easy to browse through and also to bring it with you. And then came the most time-consuming but also the most fun part of the whole project. Actually putting everything together and deciding on the order. So once everything was cut, I spread all the pages out on the table and started figuring out the order. I wanted to think about which photos worked well next to each other, but also how the different sizes, colors and materials would flow together as you flip through the book. Some photos I glued onto the colored paper to give them a border or add another layer, and for the other pages I used different materials. I also wanted the pages to be double-sided, so I glued 2 prints together, and then there were a few pieces that needed to be folded to create another little surprise when you flip through the book. I really think this was my favorite part, because I wasn't following the design perfectly anymore, but I was just playing around and seeing what worked. I also added some of the other little memories and details, like the stickers that I put into a small transparent bag. Those extra elements made it feel a lot more personal and less like I had simply printed a collection of photos. It took a while to get everything exactly how I wanted, but eventually I had the order, the different layers and all the little details figured out, and it was already so great to flip through it and see the almost final results. And also I really wanted to tell you that you can make this whole process as complicated or simple as you'd like. I'm just trying out different techniques and different things because I really like to experiment and show you what is possible. But please know that you can also really just print it on simple photo paper or simple regular paper and bind it together in a really nice ring-bound zine. And then it was finally time to punch the holes and to turn all these separate pages into an actual book. Photo by photo, page by page, it really slowly started coming together. And then I closed the rings, picked it up and flipped through it for the first time. And suddenly this pile of prints and random little memories had become an actual book. And the photo book was pretty much finished at this point, but there were still a few little things I wanted to change. So I also decided to round the corners on some of the pages. It's such a small detail, but I really like how much it changes the look. It makes it feel softer and more finished. And now I think it's finally finished. This is my New York ring-bound photo zine, which I think turned out to be more like a photo book. And I'm really happy with how it turned out. I think my favorite part is the mix of different page sizes. When you flip through it, you can sometimes already see parts of the photographs underneath, so every page reveals something slightly different. And I really love having the designs and the stickers and the photos all mixed together. It makes it feel like a little time capsule from the trip, and such a great memory to hold. So this project has been really great and I enjoyed it a lot to create this zine. It's just so amazing to see your work in print instead of just only on your computer. And it reminded me how beautiful photography can be and how much you can actually create with it. I love all the imperfections in my zines and that it's handmade, and it makes it so much more special to me. So I'm really excited about it and I hope you are too. And if you make a ring-bound zine, please make sure to tag me on social media so that I can see all of your amazing results. And also please don't forget to like, subscribe and comment on this video, and I will hope to see you in my next video.